My people, how are we doing on this fine Sunday afternoon? I hope all is well. As usual, make sure you check out redhillcutlery.com and then my buddies on YouTube, Satu Dave, Timbo437, and My Bad Adventures. Make sure you hit the like button right down there. And if you do, you'll automatically be entered to win this can of spray foam. Alright, today's sticker, I'm going to do two. I'm going to do this no knife sticker and this morally flexible, which is a pretty cool one. Make sure you guys subscribe because I'm going to be doing a 500 sub giveaway soon. I'm nearly at we are nearly at 400, which is absolutely amazing, and I'm stoked for the channel to grow. Also, this is the last chance, last day, actually tomorrow is, but last chance to get in on the Patreon giveaway. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check out Patreon. I'll put a link in the description. Giving away a couple knives, a nice Microtech hat, an Olight, all kinds of stuff. A couple $100, a little over $200 worth of stuff. It's a good giveaway, and right now the odds are fantastic because I have 3 patrons, which I dearly appreciate. We're going to put that kind of front and center right there. So make sure you check that out if you're interested. And even if you don't want to be a patron for long term, it's something that you can just you can cancel anytime you want. Make sure you hit the bell notification, all that good stuff too. If you would like to donate to the channel, you can find the info to do so in the description. All donations will be used 100% for Knives for content. One more thing before we get going on this. I make strops, so if you are in the market for some good strops, I sell them a set of 2 for $40. I can put, that is shipped. I can put compound or diamond emulsion on there for you if you like. And here soon I'm going to do a video on stropping 101, basically, just for those who don't know how to do it, just to give everybody a little bit of a tutorial. I'm not the greatest, of course, but I do a good enough job to justify being able to do a video for it. Okay, one more thing. I am changing the name of the channel to Behind the Edge. I am leaving my name in it for now, maybe forever, I'm not sure. So if you look it up now, it is Nicholas Edward Behind the Edge. And I'm going to need a logo soon, so I need to make a logo. So if anybody knows how to, has an idea for a cool logo, hit me up in my DMs. Alright, today we're going to start a series of the top 10 best pocket knives of all time. Now, obviously, this is 100% opinionated. And the criteria needed to say the knife is the best is basically, it's my channel, and these are just my favorites. And which I look at them, the usefulness, the ability, the coolness, the engineering that went into making them, just what I like, and that's just what it is. So, I do not own all the knives that are in my 10 best. I own a few right this second. So, we're just going to do a couple knives at a time. If not, the damn video would be 45 minutes long, and nobody watches past 2 minutes anyway. So, the first one on my top 10 list, and these are not in any particular order. I have 2 knives today. The first one is the Strider SMF. Strider is an American company, as everybody knows. It is part of the Holy Trinity, which is quote-unquote Three of the best and most influential makers, which consist of Rick Hinderer, Mick Strider, and Chris Reeve. I don't necessarily agree with that terminology or whatever. Anyway, but I do love the SMF. I also like the SNG, but the SMF is bigger, and I prefer it very much over the SNG. Now, Strider, especially the older ones, are known to have issues with lock rock, lock stick, and just not the best quality control in the world. This one has a very nice mirror edge on it that I did myself and used my strops that I make to polish it a little bit. Anyway, this is one of the newer ones, which you can always tell it'll say M Strider instead of just Strider. There's there's a ton of generations to these knives, but these are a lot better. They are much thinner behind the edge. They have much better geometry in the blade. They're not just a sharpened sharpened freaking chisel or a sharpened shovel, you know. These actually do cut, and you know, I have that thing where if it's sharp enough it'll cut. This one's very sharp, but they have much better geometry than they used to. Now, I still do appreciate the older Striders. I like them quite a lot. There's a lot of different versions. This one is in 20 CV. It has the aluminum monoblock show side and the titanium lock side, titanium bent clip, which a lot of people don't like. I kind of like it. This one I do have a, my over travel is a peak gray. I think it's some sterling silver. Their pivots are very well known. It is a free spinning pivot, and I mean free spinning. But I don't mind them. You do have to have, you don't have to. The spanner tool makes it easier to take apart, and if you have a pivot, if you have a Strider and your pivot is wanting to back out a lot, all you gotta do is put some Teflon tape around the threads on the center, on this side of it, around the threads, screw it back in, tighten it or loosen it to where you want it, and then you'll be good to go. It shouldn't back out anymore. Anyway, extremely well-known design. Anybody that knows anything about knives can look at this and automatically know that that is a Strider. I do love the ergos on these knives. The SNG looks basically the same, except for it has 2 screws instead of 3 back on the top here, and it is quite a bit smaller, but basically they look the same. In the choke up position, this thing is a masterpiece, and back here it is okay as well, except for your cutting edge is quite a distance away from your hand, so your leverage is going to be not great. But in the choke up position, it is fantastic. Has a excellent sharpening choil, so you don't get a smile. I'll show you what a smile is here in a second on the next knife. When you sharpen it, it is thumb hole deployment. They are definitely, they're riding on these huge, I need to clean mine. Mine's pretty shit, dirty. I use it, I literally carry this thing every day. And this was anyway, it's riding on giant phosphor bronze washers, which I prefer. It's an excellent work knife. Excellent EDC if you don't mind the size, which I prefer. The lanyard hole isn't getting in the way. Wish it wasn't there, honestly. These are not drop shut. Mine kind of is, but that's because I polished the washers on it. They're not known for fidget factor. They're not known for just, you know, being an EDC dream. They are known for being a very robust, strong work knife slash combat knife slash, it's a Strider. This was a gift to the channel, and I will forever love it and cherish it and keep it. And it's very much appreciated. My buddy gave it to me. I'm not going to shout it. I'm not going to tell you who, because I don't want anybody hitting him up and like, man, I'd like to have a free Strider, because that would just be fucking dumb. So, I'm not going to do that. Next knife on the list, on the top 10, is also a gift from a patron. And I will also keep this one forever and cherish it. This is one of my favorite knives of all time, and it is the ZT460. Freaking love this knife. I just don't understand why they quit making them. This is a Hinderer design knife, which is another part of the Holy Trinity, which has no relevance whatsoever in this video. I just wanted to say that. It is an Elmax. This has been discontinued for quite a while. This is one of the older ones without the lock bar insert, and it does not need it, in my opinion. Sometimes you can get lock stick because of that. You can get a little lock rock, and actually this one came to me with a little lock rock. I disassembled the knife, I cleaned it up a little bit, and I bent this lock bar a little bit while the knife was disassembled, and for the most part all the lock rock is gone. So this is riding on bearings, which is the only issue for me as far as carrying it to work and using it for work. But it's easy enough to take care of. You can see the bearings in there, so you can blow it out, throw some oil in there, and then blow it out with some compressed air. And for the most part, you can keep it clean enough to carry to work. I'm going to use it for work. Also, this guy is quite sharp. When I got it, it was still on the factory edge, believe it or not, and I've only had this thing for about a week. Such an old knife on a factory edge is absolutely bananas. This thing's like 10 years old. But I noticed, and I didn't remember from owning one of these 10 years ago, that this thing is crazy thick behind the edge. And I mean very, very thick behind the edge. Almost atrociously. So I laid it back a little bit. Believe it or not, this thing is still at 22 degrees per side. I'm going to do it gradually. Every time I sharpen it, I'm going to take it back a degree until I get it about to, I'm going to say 20. Maybe go as low as 18, as long as it doesn't make my bevel way too broad and look stupid. I'll never sell this knife, so I don't really care if the bevel's super broad on it. But I want it to cut well, but I don't want it to look ridiculous either. I don't know any other way to say that. One other thing that I don't particularly care for this knife, this is a steel clip. It works great. It is 4-position, which is also great, but this knife deserves a titanium clip. Come on, ZT. For real, man. It cost y'all probably $1 to slap a steel clip on here, and maybe $5 for y'all to put a bent titanium clip. Really, it can't be that much more. But you can get titanium clips for these. MXG Gear makes them. They make the hardware and the standoffs, your over travel, all kinds of stuff. I might get a clip for it. I don't care about the colorful titanium hardware for them. It looks cool, but this knife is kind of a bruiser for me. This knife was designed kind of after the XM18, XM24 design. It is right in between the two, actually. This is a 3.75 inch blade. The 18, well, the 3.5 version has a 3.5-inch blade, and then the XM24 is right at 4 inches. So this is right in between there. I love the XM24. I wish this one was a little bit bigger, closer to that. But I think I'm going to one day hopefully get an XM24. But still, for $250 when this was available, was a crazy good deal for a knife that is arguably just as good as the actual Hinderer, which is $425 plus. It has some of the best titanium milling ever. I love it. I love that dimpling there. It's almost like a gunner grip. I love that. To me, that's just amazing. It's for back then, 10, 11, 12 years ago. They do have a black wash version of this, which is also discontinued. Every version of this is discontinued. And then they have the 561, and I don't really know the difference other than it has a lock bar insert. I believe they're the same size. I believe they're the same knife. But I'm not 100% sure on that. If you know, let me know in the comments. It does have this very proud lanyard hole, which is dumb, but whatever. And again, this list is just my favorites, and I am lucky and privileged enough for a couple great guys to have given me 2 of my favorite knives of all time. It's a wonderful thing, and I very much appreciate it. Hey, real quick, Zero Tolerance, Kai USA, whatever. Will you, for the love of God, make a knife like this again, please? Seriously. I promise you they'll sell. I'll buy one. Just make a knife that's that big and that robust and that badass, and something that'll match that label you got on your box that says, the real beast inside. Because that 0990 or whatever that is, that's a travesty. Right now, I only own one more knife that is on this list. I'll put out another video continuing this. It'll be like a series, and this will be the first part, of course. A lot of you will agree with what's on the list, and quite a few of y'all will say I'm an idiot. Oh, how come there's not a Chris Reeves on there? How can you not put the Sebenza on there? Well, because I didn't fucking want to. Because it's not my favorite knife. I like the Sebenza, but I like the Umnumzaan better. And honestly, the Umnumzaan would be on this list if it wasn't an S35 VN. Or, well, now they're on an S45, but you just can't get them. So, and the secondary is retarded on them. These are hard to get too. And the secondary on these are around $400, give or take. And these aren't as hard to get anymore. The aluminum ones, for some reason, are not as popular as the G10, which aluminum is for sure a stronger material than G10. It is almost as light as G10 as well. So I do not mind the aluminum sided Straters. I almost prefer it. The G10 ones don't have, well, some of them do, the Legos do, but a lot of them don't have this monoblock construction. They just have a pass-through with standoffs. But anyway, there's 100 million different versions of the Strater SMF. But they're still available. You can get them quite easily, in a multitude of blade steel choices as well. All right, guys, don't forget to check out Patreon if you're interested. Make sure you hit the like button. Please subscribe. As soon as I get to 500 subs, I'm going to give away something quite substantial, or to the best of my ability. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to give away something as nice as I can afford, because this channel here currently generates about $13 per month. And I'm not sure if you know, but you can't buy a lot of knives on $13 a month. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you this is why I don't show a bunch of different knives every day. Because I would if I had them coming in, and then I would give them away to you guys, my generous people, my people. I love you all. See you later.